Thank you. This is awesome, and it's really amazing to be able to delve deeper into all of my fellow residents' work. I mean, we've all talked to each other, and we've all visited each other's studios, but this has really given me a deeper dive into everybody. And thank you for putting this together. Thank you for just kind of cultivating this space for us, which I didn't realize that was going to happen. Like being here and being able to have conversations with other artists is really really something I think that Nalji put a lot into, and I want to just express my gratitude for that and everybody that is a part of this program and a part of this arts community. And so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about myself and my work. So like Brenda, I am also a interdisciplinary artist, but I also I would consider myself more of an artivist, or I combine it with social practice art and also art as intervention, and which I'm calling artivism. And so with that, I'm using my art as research, and right now my focus is on behavioral health and specifically mental health and suicide. And with Wyoming being well, for decades, Wyoming's been at the top of the list. We're slowly coming down. I think we're at number 3 now, compared to most of the time being at 1. Is exciting news, but we have to find ways to kind of keep the momentum going, and that's kind of what I'm trying to present with my work here at Jentel. And so when I talk about artivism and art as intervention, you're probably thinking like, what does that look like? So I have a video of an event that I'm going to show you guys, and it was a community event art exhibition that I did in New Mexico that was kind of like the starting point for this Unite series that I'm doing here. Why do I make art? Making art has become a spiritual experience for me. The process is sometimes painful, but healing, similar to my experience in martial arts. Each of the mediums that I use offer different opportunities for me to heal. Whenever I paint, it allows me to be intimate with my subject, be vulnerable. I mean, sometimes I break down and cry. And photography allows me to heal in ways that other mediums don't, because with photography, I have to go out in the world, interact with people, and part of my trauma has caused me to be not confident, and this allows me to go out and find that confidence in order to talk to people. With this show, I was trying to find a way to recreate that moment of catharsis that I experienced through making my art. This is where my Fight for Change performance was born. Now, to prepare for this, I approached it just like I did with my martial arts career when I was scheduled for a fight. I did the training, the sparring, bleeding, dieting, weight cutting, and I was even going to step on the scale to weigh in the night before the performance, just like I would when I would compete. The catharsis that I felt whenever I used to train and practice martial arts, I needed to recreate. Now, the idea for Burke Unite actually started with the project I was doing to help process the loss of a couple of my best friends and teammates when I used to fight. My good friend Mikey, who we lost to suicide, and my good friend Nathan, who we lost through fentanyl. What happened during the process is I started to lose more loved ones. At one point, I didn't think I was going to make it to the show. I was in so much pain. It was like a living nightmare.
What are you doing, Mikey? I'm the one that found you.
I began to have my own thoughts of suicide.
As soon as I opened the door, I smelled death. It haunts me still to this day.
My little brother Nathan was murdered. It was one of the most devastating losses I've ever had. I'm telling you, it was like living through a nightmare. It was like the shit you only see on TV. My brother's body was burned beyond recognition.
My little brother. I miss you.
Before he died, I had promised him a painting. I never had the opportunity to paint him that. After he died, that was the first thing I did. And it helped me to heal. My attempts with this entire event was to create an opportunity for community healing. I was trying to bring the community together. Celebration of Life Community Altar was something that I felt was important to include because it gave the community members an opportunity to participate by bringing photos of their loved ones and ofrendas, a place to grieve, a place to celebrate the lives of their loved ones. I also thought it was important for the community to interact with me, so I made it an open mic and let the community chime in. Each of the objects I made in this exhibition is just an individual component of a conceptual piece as a whole. The entire event was the art.
So yeah, in a lot of ways, my work is about more than just the object. Right now I'm at the University of Wyoming doing my master's, and my thesis project is a study on suicide in Wyoming. And so what I would like to do is another installation of this Unite series, which I carried on and did another Unite in Taos, New Mexico, in between my time that I was here. And now I'm going to be here in Wyoming, and I'm going to do the Wyoming Unite installation at the University Art Museum. And what I hope to do is, you know, I'm going to have these objects that I make, but really I want them to be the conversation starter to kind of break the stigma of talking about mental health and suicide here in Wyoming, because a lot of it is that's what I'm learning, is that ingrained in part of the culture here is like this cowboy up mentality, and in a lot of ways people feel like they don't have anybody to talk to, and they're holding that in. And you know, with the weather factors, the unpredictable weather, with the ruralness of living here. I mean, you could have a mental health crisis and we get a snowstorm and then you're stuck, and I mean, how are you going to get to go talk to anybody or anything, you know? And then also like the access to guns. I mean, I think Wyoming has more guns in the state than any other state in the country. You know, and I'm all for gun rights, but I think that's definitely contributing to the factor. And we also, another thing that I liked about this residence is that we had like a philosophical conversation about suicide at dinner one day. And so there's this thing where that I've realized through my own battles with suicidal ideation is that you might experience this feeling or this thought where maybe it's the pain is too much and you want to end it. Um, but from through experience, I've learned that it'll pass eventually. Like it's not gonna stay there. And the thing with gun access is that there's no takebacks. Once and I do this project that I did at that I'm doing. I'm interviewing survivors of suicide and collaborating on an artwork where I'm taking their portrait, and one of the interviewees actually shot himself here, but luckily it went out through like his nose, and he was able to like survive and talk about it. And part of his story is so inspiring because now that's what he's doing, is going and talking to other veterans and other people that are struggling from this. And I think that people like him and all the other survivors of suicide, you know, are, I think, the solution to being able to break this stigma and being able to say like, hey, it's okay to talk about this. I am this big tough guy that served my country and had this injury that brought me back here, or I am this former fighter, former martial artist, but I have struggled with this, and it's okay. Like, we're all human, and really what it comes down to is a humanity thing. So that's what my work currently is about, and I want to invite you guys all to my exhibition, which is April. It's going to be April 23rd. Sorry, I didn't put it on the slide, but it's April 23rd, or I'm sorry, April 17th, from 6 to 9 at the University Art Museum in Laramie, and I'm doing this participation. Part of the exhibit, it's where I'm asking you to take a selfie, and then you're going to add the you're going to write something on the selfie, whether something inspiring or something that like maybe talks about mental health, and then I'm going to put these in the installation at the art museum. So there's a camera back there, so I hope I'm inviting you guys to participate before we leave today, and thank you. Sorry, I kind of went a little bit over it. Oh yeah, any questions? Yes.
First, thank you for your service, and thank you for what you're doing to affect people. I think that's really powerful. So I have a comment and then just a simple question. I noticed that your handling of the paint in the faces is quite realistic and shows the pain that the people are going through. And then your handling of the paint in the rest of it it's almost like an abstraction of that pain that I felt was really powerful and reinforcing the attention that you're paying to the human, to the person, and then the way in which you're abstracting that in the rest of the painting. I was impressed with. And then what is your master's in?
My master's is in American Studies, and part of the reason why I'm doing my master's in American Studies is it's kind of rebellion against the art world and like art education as a whole, just because I'm not really happy with the elitism and the different things, because like my work is about more than just an object. It's like you can't even really, there's things that I make that you can't even sell. So and then what you were talking about with the portraiture, part of that, these were in the video, these were losses that I had, like people that I lost in a short period of time, and part of that was my own way of healing while I'm making these works and while I'm trying to like capture their likeness and making them look realistic. That part was important to me because it was like almost like one final conversation like that I had with them in private, and like in some of them like I did cry, and some of them like I was like hitting the canvas, and that's why the paint kind of looks really gestural and And that's why it ended up looking like that. So, Nancy.
So I was really moved by the video and your work. And I'm really curious, when you were performing in that space, that exhibition that was being videotaped, was that improv or did you have it scripted?
It was actually improv. I didn't know I was gonna. Well, I knew I was gonna do a performance. I knew I was gonna, and it was my first time ever experimenting with the performance. But I knew I wanted to. I wanted to like hang this heavy bag there, and I was gonna hit the bag until my knuckles bleed. And I didn't know like what I was gonna do in between that. But it just turned out that I put their paintings all around. So then I was able to like turn around and like look at the paintings and like talk to the paintings, almost like I was talking to a person. And one of the people that had a good friend of mine who I had lost, and I painted his portrait, and it was in the exhibition. His wife was there, and she said it was like you brought them back for one last time. And she actually even grabbed my hand and put it on his heart, and then I had the heartbeat in the background, and she was like, can you feel his heartbeat? And it was just like boom, 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 boom.